Willie D Live.
Mm. Um, wow, that's wild. Cassie admitted in court that she had UTIs, urinary tract infections, over the years, over her 10-year, 11-year freak off career. And then she even talked about having like sores in her mouth and stuff like that. Did you ever get any diseases or anything like that while doing?
Thankfully, no, man.
Women?
Yeah, thankfully, no. I dodged. If there was a possibility of contacting something, I dodged it. Fortunately, and that's ironic, right? Because I did make a reckless decision to engage unprotected sex in that situation
with Cassie.
Yeah, and the crazy thing was, we would have conversations consistently. Like when I would show up and she would be like, hey, are you tested? I'm tested. I got my paperwork. I can show it to you, this, that, and the other. And I heard that and it affirmed me, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm looking at this beautiful woman and we in these expensive, like, yeah, she's not going to be reckless.
Yeah.
So I took this as, okay, yeah, this is probably a safe environment. So even me to hear after the fact how crazy it was, if those allegations are accurate, man, I took a serious chance naively, just assuming her beauty and her status meant, safe actions,
Yeah. Did you pull out?
So here's the thing, right? I was so uncomfortable with the sexual activity that anytime I got an erection, it was over medicated. Like I was taking a Viagra, something from the corner store, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you ever tried pills before, enhancers, right? But if you take too strong a dose, you'll get a scenario where you're erect, but you're numb. You can't feel anything. You know what I'm saying? You can't feel anything. And it's an issue to actually sometimes even climax, right? So every time I did engage in sex, I was so overly medicated that I couldn't really feel anything, So when it would come time for me to climax, which was part of the scene, they wanted that ending, I had to always do it manually. Like I never had a situation where, like normal sex, where you penetrate to the sensation builds to climax. That never happened. It would be penetration to, all right, the penetration part is good. Then it would almost be instructions like, we want you to finish. And then I would have to rub one out. And that wasn't even easy. It was like the concentrate, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I was over medicated almost every time.
Wow. Is there anything that you wish you had done or not done that night? On any one of those nights? Because, and also, how many times have you had a freak off with Cassie and Diddy?
Anywhere. Honestly, man, I don't have an exact amount of times. My estimate is 8 to 12 times.
Okay.
It could actually be more. You know what I'm saying? It could, right. But we're talking 13 years ago. I didn't keep track of every single time, but that's my estimate. So, and back to your question, do I have anything that I would have did differently? In the moment, no. I mean, in the moment, it was routine. It went the same every time, where it was just these kind of like mutual baby oil massages that led into sex. None of the sex got overly kinky or crazy. Like I know there was testimony by another guy saying that he was urinating and all that stuff. It stayed basically vanilla sex for me. It was just more or less, it was portrayed as a voyeur fetish, like the husband likes to watch. Mm-hmm. And he's not supposed to be seen, and it stayed consistent to that.
Yeah. Have you had to set up any personal boundaries with friends or family, in regards to, speaking on this case?
Nah, man. Or like I told you, man, I have a small circle, and the circle that was close to me, they already knew the details. And in terms of speaking on the case prior to I testified, it was a little conversation because I was in complete denial about ever being called to testify. I wasn't, it wasn't confirmed that I was going to actually be a witness till a few weeks before I actually testified, even though investigators have been contacting me for over a year. But they always made it seem insignificant. Like, oh, we're just doing our due diligence. You know what I'm saying? We're just, this is what we got to do. And I really believed that. So I was like, it's no big deal. They'll pass by, ask some questions or whatever. So it wasn't like a main conversation. And I didn't tell too many people. And after the testimony, obviously, everything's everywhere. I'm doing interviews so they can hear, and the story's a story. The details are not really going to change, right? I testified to the facts of my involvement, and it's consistent all the way through. So not too much, no boundaries necessary.
Did they ever threaten you with prosecution if you didn't offer your testimony?
They did not. They never threatened it. But listen, man, when the federal government comes to you, you get a feeling without the overt threat that you don't have a choice. Yeah, it's and I have a couple of close people who are attorneys, a very close friend that's a retired federal agent. And he told me, listen, man, you're dealing with the Southern District of New York. They don't play. You don't want to be on their bad side. Just cooperate, do what you got to do. Because, they said I didn't get any pressure, but what I got from people that's supposed to be in the know, that they mess with you. They mess with you if you don't, go along with what they want. So I just cooperated, man. And I felt comfortable about my facts and what I was saying anyway. So when it came down to it, it was, I just tried to step in there with integrity and tell them my facts.